Hi everyone, this is Caly with craftingcaly.wordpress.com. I've been missing in action here for about 3 weeks because of a move, and so I've been staring at all of my things as I have set up my new craft room, and I had a hard time deciding what to do because I feel like I've kind of lost my groove. So bear with me on this card. It took me an hour to make, and I went with a Christmas theme because I kind of missed the whole Christmas in July action with crafting, and I also wanted to be a part of Live Love Cards August Challenge, which is a holiday theme. So I'm using two older stamp sets by Stampin' Up from last year's catalog. I haven't purchased anything new yet, but I do plan on doing that here soon. I am still an active Stampin' Up demonstrator. I don't market myself to sell, but if there's anything that I can help you with, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to help you place an order. So what I've done here is I've stamped the Christmas Bauble stamp onto some Neenah Solar White cardstock, and I'm just going to be coloring this whole entire image here in using some Copic markers. I decided to add some veins on these holly leaves to make it look a little bit more realistic. And for most of the images, I am starting off with the lighter color, then going in with the darker color, and then back in with the lighter color to kind of blend out all of the colors. And I have to be honest here, it took me a long time to color this image in. I wanted it to be at the focal point of my card, and I wanted to use some bold colors. And red always makes me really, really nervous. So I went really slow, and this is actually sped up 12 times. So I'm sorry if it makes anyone a little bit nauseous that I've sped it up so much, but I wanted to make this video a little bit shorter to make it easier to watch. I'll go ahead and play some music now, and when I'm done coloring, I will come back and discuss some more about what I did to finish up my card. So once I'm done coloring this image in with my Copic markers, I am using some Wink of Stella clear marker here to go ahead and add some shine and sparkle to my card. I wanted to make this again the focal point of my card, so I wanted to add as much as possible, but then again I also feel like I always have a hard time leaving the card as it is. I always feel like I'm missing something, and so I may have overdone it a little bit here, but I think it's really pretty, and I don't think Wink of Stella adds too much. You kind of have to hold it at an angle to see it. Anyway, I'm masking this bauble off with some Inkadinkadoo masking paper. I'm going to come in with the Ornamental Pine stamp set using this large pine image, and I'm going to ink it up with some Garden Green Stampin' Up ink. So initially I just thought that I would just need the one, but I decided that I would probably need more. So I'll go ahead and finish off this first pine image, and then I'll add some more. Here you'll see in a little bit. When I'm done doing this, I also pull in my Garden Green Stampin' Write marker, and I just kind of fill in the pine needles in those white spaces between the bauble where the masking paper didn't allow some of that ink from the stamp to transfer to the paper too well. So I'm just filling in some of those spots with my pen, and I have here a chocolate chip Stampin' Write marker, which I will go over the pine branch with just to make it look a little bit more realistic on this stamped image. I go ahead and once I'm done doing this, I also add 2 additional pine stamps to the right and left of the card just to fill in some of that white space. And so I'll go ahead and I'll do that and make sure that my work surface is clean. I don't want any of the ink to transfer onto my white cardstock there. The left pine also has a little bit of branching on it, so I'm going to add a little bit chocolate chip marker on the branch there as well. When I'm done doing this, I'll go ahead and I'll remove the masking paper off that bauble, and you'll see the card here come to life a little bit. And I thought I was done there, but I kept going with it. I feel like I really challenged myself with this card because I kept thinking something else was missing, so I kept adding to it. So I'll lift off my masking paper here using my EK Success Craft tool, and I decided that I wanted to do some embossing to add a little bit of snow on the branches and on the pine leaves of this. So I am using a Versamark pen. So it's Versamark ink in a pen form. And I got this on Amazon, and I think it's a great tool to have, especially when you're trying to emboss something and you don't get a good impression. You can kind of fix your mistakes with this marker as well. So I dabbed some snow onto the branches, and then I decided to go ahead and just do some of the pines as well. And so I'm just drawing over a variety of these pines just to give it a little bit more coverage and to make it look a little bit more realistic too as well with the snow on all of the pines and the branches. So I go ahead and I will add my white embossing powder. It's an opaque white embossing powder. I have a bunch of Recollections brand, which I got from Michael's, but what I link below is actually a Stampin' Up powder. So I just wanted to make that clear for you. And I'll go ahead and I'll heat set that off camera as well to save some time. The snow look kind of completes the card for me. I feel like it looks more realistic with some snow on these pines and also on the card, and kind of ties in the whole Christmas winter feel. I am adding a sentiment from the same stamp set, from the Ornamental Pine set, and I'm using Memento black ink as well. And I thought initially that I was done here, but of course I didn't like the white space. So what I'm doing is I'm going to sponge some color. This is Wild Wasabi, and I just wanted to bring out those pine needles a bit. I kind of felt like, you know, there was so much white from the embossing that it kind of took away from the pine needles. So I'm adding some green here with Wild Wasabi Stampin' Up ink, and towards the bottom, I'm also going to add some soft sky, and so that just ties the whole card together for me, and I felt like, you know, it was an added touch of color that was needed on this card to complete it. So when I'm done doing this, I decided to make a card base out of the Wild Wasabi Stampin' Up paper. So I'll go ahead and I'll make this a side folding card, and I am going to score down the center of this base here at 4 1/4. Once that's scored, I'll go ahead and I'll trim my layer piece, which I had previously cut to a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So in order to layer it on this card base, I'm going to have to trim off a 1/4 inch off the sides. So I go ahead and I do that, and I decided to go ahead and corner off the bottoms here with my corner chomper. So I'll do that with the layered piece as well as the card base. And then I adhere that to the card base using some ATG adhesive. And then I decided also that I wanted to use some Glossy Accents to add a little bit more to my Christmas bauble here. So you'll also notice that I am using a fine line tip applicator to help me with just adding some glossy accents to more detailed areas. I also wanted to mention that this applicator does not fit on the Crystal Effects by Stampin' Up. I bought it for the Crystal Effects and realized that the neck of the Crystal Effects bottle is too big for this fine line tip applicator. but I knew that it would fit on the Glossy Accents, so I had to go out and buy another bottle, which I don't mind. I've kind of messed up the tip of my Crystal Effects. It's been clogging on me, so I've had to cut quite a bit off the tip. So it's nice to have a brand new bottle to use for finer details like this. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed my card. I hope that my being gone for 3 weeks isn't going to affect anybody too much. Mostly myself, obviously, because I feel like I'm having to get back into the groove of crafting. But I am so happy to be back, and I hope that you all will continue to follow. And thank you, everyone who has subscribed in the last 3 weeks. I know the last time I was here, I mentioned that I reached 500, and now it's reached over 1,000, and I'm so grateful for all the support. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day. Bye-bye.